everyone, to the Ag in Action All About Poultry Food Safety and Preparation Farm Chat. And as a reminder, this is the third Farm Chat in our GobbleUp Farm Chat series. And now we're going to talk about how to be safe when we're preparing turkey and other poultry products. And so today, our webinar and our farm chat are going to use some different technology to help make it a little bit more interactive, since we can't all be face-to-face together, either in the kitchen or in the classroom. And so some of the ways in which we're going to do that is by using polls. And so that's where I'm actually going to ask you questions. So which of these components is a part of proper food safety? Is it cleaning, cooking, separating, chilling, or is it all of those? Remember, is it cleaning, cooking, separating, chilling, or all of the above? All of the above, which is the correct answer. Cooking, cleaning, separating, and chilling are all important parts of food safety. And so we're going to actually be learning about that a little bit more throughout our farm chat today from our chefs. And so speaking of our chefs, why don't we go ahead and head over into the kitchen to meet our chefs today?
Thanks, Alex. It's so great to see everybody and to meet you all. I'm Cathryn, and I work with the Iowa Agriculture Literacy Foundation. And today I have...
My name's Kelsey Greenslade, and I am a junior at ADM High School.
And today we're both going to be your chefs. And that means we're going to walk you through a really great, fun turkey recipe that even you could do at home. But before we even get started, can you what do we even know about turkey? Can you tell me a little bit about turkey, Kelsey?
Yeah, the turkey industry in Iowa is so important. Did you know that Iowa actually ranks number 5 in U.S. turkey processing?
For real? I didn't actually know that. But I did know that Iowa ranks number 7 in turkey production across the U.S.
Oh my gosh. Did you know that the average American actually eats 18 pounds of turkey every single year?
18 pounds? Is that like just at Thanksgiving time?
I feel like I eat that much at Thanksgiving time, but actually turkey sandwiches account for 48% of all turkey consumption.
Turkey sandwiches. Wow. I don't know. I love me a good turkey sandwich though.
Me too.
And today, like I said, we're going to be creating a snack, but the one snack that we're showing you today could be different depending on what you have at home. And so before we even talk about making our snack and making it here today, we want to make sure that we take, as Alex said, proper steps to be safe. And the first way to be safe is to have our surface clean. So when we talk about food safety, we want to make sure our surface is clean. And in order to clean our surface, you can do a lot of different things. And one thing you can do is you can use soap and water. And so back here behind us, we have a sink that has water, and we also have soap. If you have things like a Clorox wipe at home, you could also use that to clean your surface. Or sometimes you can use a 1% bleach solution to clean a surface as well.
And don't forget to wash our hands before we make anything. We got to get all those germs off of our hands so we don't get anything gross on the food.
That's a good point. Sometimes I forget to wash my hands, so I'm happy you reminded me of that. Another thing you'll notice right now too is we don't have our ingredients out. And the reason why is we want to make sure that our ingredients are kept in the fridge as long as they can before we prepare whatever we're making. And the reason why we do that is to make sure that if our food gets too warm, it can become unsafe to eat. And when food becomes unsafe to eat, it can make us sick. So we want to make sure our food stays in the fridge. Why else might we want to keep our food in the fridge?
I mean, like you said, it's just really important that we're eating safe food. And also, who likes warm cheese? I mean, unless it's melted, but it's really important that we keep it in there because it could collect some gross bacteria outside of the fridge if it's not stored in the right way.
That's a good point too. So also keeping it in the fridge allows us to keep our food stored properly. So we're going to get our surfaces ready to go and get our food items, but I'm going to send it back to Alex so that she can share a recipe from our GobbleUp competition.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cathryn and Kelsey. So as Cathryn mentioned, I'm going to be sharing one of our first recipes that we're going to be seeing today. And so this recipe is actually from the elementary division winners of the GobbleUp contest. And so our winners were Colton, Thad, and Abel, and they're from Miss Wetzel's class in Guthrie Center, Iowa. And so when these students were getting together in their groups and kind of thinking about what they wanted to make for their recipe, what was interesting to them, and how they wanted to incorporate turkey, they decided that with the ongoing super exciting football season and us getting so close to the Super Bowl, that they really wanted to incorporate some kind of tailgating Super Bowl party theme into their project and their recipe. And so these students came up with fried turkey wings with buffalo sauce. And so they actually found a really simplistic recipe that made some really great wings. And so all they needed to make their fried turkey wings was the raw turkey wings, some oil to fry them in, and then buffalo sauce to toss them in at the end. And so these students made a super creative project, and we just wanted to congratulate them for getting first place in the elementary division of our GobbleUp contest. So congratulations, Colton, Thad, and Abel. But one thing that's really important when we're thinking about this recipe, such as fried turkey wings, or even the recipe that we're going to be seeing today, is how do we even cook turkey? How do we know when it's done? And so we're going to do another poll, and this poll is going to be about turkey cooking temperature. And our question is, what temperature does turkey need to be cooked to? Is it 145 degrees, 165 degrees, or 155 degrees? I think our chefs might be ready in the kitchen, and I think that they're going to tell us more about what temperature turkey needs to be cooked to.
Hi, Alex. Thanks so much for sending it back to us. And we are ready for making our snack. And like I said, we're going to be making a snack that's a turkey pizza, so turkey pepperoni pizza today.
Yeah, our first ingredient that we're going to start with is actually an English muffin. Cathryn, why are we using an English muffin today?
You know, a lot of times, when we make pizza, it's actually like a pizza dough, right? Yeah. But I don't know about you, I don't have time always to make a pizza dough. I mean, as a high school student, would you have time?
No, I mean, I'm involved in so many activities, I'm always on the go. So having an English muffin as my crust is really helpful because, I mean, like you said, I don't have time to make a pizza crust sometimes.
Yeah, and so it's a great way. Now, you don't have to use an English muffin. Sometimes I like to use a bagel instead, so do like a bagel pizza. But so I like to use an English muffin, and today I brought with us a wheat muffin, so that way it's a little bit more nutritious. And it also helps provide fiber for our bodies. And a lot of times as humans, we don't get enough fiber. And so that's a great way to get fibers through a whole wheat. And so we're going to start with our English muffin. And the first part of any sort of pizza is that we are going to add our base. And so we have today our pizza sauce. And can you tell us about our pizza sauce?
Yeah, so today we're using pizza sauce. But if you don't have pizza sauce at home, that's totally fine. You can use spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, whatever you want, really. Why do we need pizza sauce?
So in order to make, in my opinion, a really good pizza, I'm a sauce person. Now, we brought pizza sauce today, but I'm also a person who sometimes likes to use things like barbecue sauce on my pizza. I don't know if anybody else likes barbecue sauce on their pizza, but I love barbecue sauce on my pizza. But I just thought today would be a great time to just try our pizza sauce to just add that good base. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just take the spoon and we're going to add some to our English muffin. And like I said, I'm a sauce person, so I'm just using a regular spoon like you would at home, like a tablespoon. It really doesn't matter how much you put on it. I like I said, a lot of sauce, so I'm gonna add lots, and then I'm just spreading it around. And so that's just going to make sure that base of my pizza is there. And like I mentioned, or how you mentioned that, it doesn't have to be that pizza sauce. If you have spaghetti sauce at home, that's perfectly fine. Or even without sauce, you can make it as well.
Awesome. All right.
And so next we're going to do is we're going to add our toppings. And so today we brought different toppings. So like I said, we're making a turkey pepperoni pizza. And so this is our turkey pepperoni. And turkey pepperoni, you don't have to use turkey pepperoni. Sometimes, people use pepperoni made out of pork, which is pig. And sometimes people use pepperoni made out of beef, which is our cattle. And the reason why, though, I want to use turkey pepperoni, and I brought it for us today, is it's just a different, unique flavor. It's a little bit lighter, too, but it also is lower in calories, and it's also lower in fat.
Wow. Yeah, that's nice having it because it's not only tasty and really good, but it's also really good for us.
Yeah. And so we had washed our hands, so I can go ahead and use my hands here. Otherwise, if you had utensils, you could use those as well. But I'm going to take some pepperoni, so I'm just going to add them to my pizza. And it doesn't matter how many you add. You know, I'm gonna do 5 per slice, but maybe you wanna do more. It's up to you. If you're a pepperoni lover, which some people are, like you could just load this thing up. But I wanna make sure I just add 5. And so I just kind of made them around like that. So it doesn't matter how you lay them down. But so that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna add our cheese. And so for the cheese, you can just sprinkle it across the top. You can also, this is a great point too, before adding your cheese, you can always add more toppings, or you can add your cheese and then add other toppings on top. So if you want to go ahead and let's have you add our cheese on.
I know I love a lot of cheese, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some in mine.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest cheese fan, so I'm gonna put just a little bit of cheese on here. Perfect. And see, and I'm also a person who likes my vegetables, because pizzas are also a great way in order to get all of your food groups. So right now we have our bread, we have our meats, our protein, we have our dairy, we have our pizza sauce, which is technically our vegetable here, but I like to add even more vegetables. Are you a vegetable person on your pizza?
Sometimes. It just depends on the vegetables. I mean,
are you gonna?
it's a great way to add, I don't know.
I love it. So I brought mushrooms today. I know not everyone's a fan of mushrooms, but I personally like mushrooms. So I'm gonna add some mushrooms to my pizza. Do you want to add mushrooms to your pizza?
I'll add a few to mine.
Okay. You seemed hesitant there. Are you not the biggest mushroom fan?
I like mushrooms, but only on some things.
Ah, I get that. So, and the nice thing again about this is that you can customize your pizza however you want. So sometimes, you know, I had a can of mushrooms at home and that's why I brought those. But maybe you in your fridge, you have some olives, or maybe you have pineapple. You can add that to your pizza.
I know I love some good pineapple on my pizza.
That's controversial.
I know.
And so another thing you can add too is things like spinach as well. I also really enjoy having spinach on my pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna add just a little bit more cheese, because even though I'm not the biggest fan of cheese, I wanna make sure that my mushrooms don't fall off of my pizza. So sometimes I like to think of cheese as the glue for my snack.
And I'm gonna do the same.
Great.
Also, because there's always an excuse for more cheese.
So for this snack, again, it's not super hard to make. You just have to have that English muffin that we have. You have your pepperonis, you have your pizza sauce, and then you have your cheese, and you can add vegetables to it as well. And now though, in order to make this an even better snack, we can heat it up. Now, because today we used all pre-cooked materials to make our snack, it doesn't have to be heated up, but I like to heat mine up in order to make sure that the cheese is melted.
Right. I know when we're cooking with turkey, it's really important that we need to get it to 165 degrees if it's not cooked. But lucky for us, we got this pre-cooked pepperoni, so we don't really have to make sure the temperature is good. But whenever we're eating ready to eat foods or maybe leftovers or something like that, we always want to make sure it's cooked to the proper temperature and it's steaming hot before we eat it.
Exactly. And so a great way or a great tool that you can use in order to make sure your food's at the proper temperature is a food thermometer. So this is my meat thermometer that I brought from home. And mine's a digital one, but sometimes they're a dial and you can read it that way. But you can just turn it on and check that temperature to make sure your food's hot enough. So if you're working with turkey or other types of poultry, 165 degrees is important. So always having a food thermometer and a meat thermometer with you is going to be helpful with that.
Yeah, and it's also really important that when we're done with our foods, maybe like our pizza sauce or our cheese, mushroom, pepperoni, we're going to go ahead and put those in the fridge right after we're done using them as quick as we can, because it's really important that we refrigerate our perishable food items so they don't go bad.
That's a good point too. Absolutely. So I don't know about you, but I'm getting kind of hungry.
I am too.
I bet they're getting hungry too. But let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get these heated up. And I'm going to send it back to Alex to share a little bit more from a GobbleUp competition.
Thank you so much, Cathryn and Kelsey. Those pizzas look really delicious. But as Cathryn mentioned, we're going to learn about yet another recipe we can make with turkey. And so this recipe is going to come from our middle school division winners of our GobbleUp contest. And so with this recipe, our group was Chase, Andy, Harrison, and Jess from Miss Gorsh's class at Clear Clear Creek Amana Middle School. And so this group wanted to get a little creative with their turkey recipe. And so they made what are called mini turkey empanadas. And so I don't know if you guys have ever had an empanada, but they're kind of like a little pocket. And so like sometimes we might have pizza rolls or things like that where we have like a pocket that has a nice yummy filling on the inside. That's kind of what an empanada is. And so this recipe is super creative because it utilizes something that we might not typically think is a part of a turkey recipe. It uses pie crust. So whenever we think of a pie crust, we might think of maybe we make a cherry pie, or I know I like French silk pie that has chocolate in it, but they actually use their pie crust to make a turkey recipe. And so all they had to do was take ground turkey and some taco seasoning and some crushed tomatoes and cook up that nice yummy mixture and then spoon it into little circles of pie crust and close them to make those little pockets. And once they baked them, they just served them with sour cream and green onions, and they were ready for a nice yummy treat that has a little bit of a kick with that taco seasoning. And so like we said, with our pizzas that we're making today, we are using that pre-cooked turkey pepperoni, so it's not as important that we have our food reaching that 165 degrees, but with a recipe like these turkey empanadas, they're using ground turkey. And so most of the time, whenever we get ground turkey, that meat is raw. And so we need to make sure that whenever we're cooking up our mixture, that we're either using our meat thermometer or checking some way that our turkey is fully cooked and has reached that 165 degrees. But as we've been going through today, we've now seen 3 different recipes that we can make with turkey. And if you guys remember at the beginning, Cathryn and Kelsey were talking about how important turkey is to Iowa, as well as the United States. So our next poll question is going to talk about exports. And so an export is when we produce something here in the United States and we send it out to other countries. Question is, true or false? The United States exports 5% of its turkey. So does the United States send to other countries 5% of the turkey we produce here? Is that true or is that false? False. The United States actually exports closer to 10% of its turkey. So 10% of the turkey produced here in the United States is sent out to other places across the world. And so the number one place that the United States is going to export turkey to is Mexico. And so I think our chefs are ready for us back in the kitchen. So let's head back over in the kitchen to see our final product of our turkey pizzas.
Thanks, Alex, and for that great transition there. And our pizzas are ready. And so here's what they look like. And so what we did is we just put ours in the microwave for 1 minute, and that gave us this nice little melted cheese. And that's all it needs to be done for because it's all pre-cooked ingredients. Now, we also, though, you could put it in an air fryer in order to heat it up, or you could even put it in the oven if your parents allow you to do that as well. Have you ever cooked in the oven?
I do. I know, like sometimes I'm a snacker, so I love to make all sorts of different snacks. But when you're using the oven, it's really important to make sure you're using the right temperature and being safe with it too.
Yeah, so if you're ever gonna do this in the oven, you'd probably want it about 350 degrees until that cheese is nice and melted. All right, so you ready to give it a try?
I am.
All right.
Ooh, these look really good.
Oh, look at your cheese. I love it. This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is interesting is that it's just an English muffin for the crust, and it still gives that good taste. What do you think?
Right, it tastes just like a regular pizza. I mean, it's really good. I think if I was at home, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm a really busy person. Being in high school, I'm always on the go with all my different activities, but I know that this is a really easy snack that I could make super quick at home any day.
Yeah, and you know, the nice thing is too is like we just showed one recipe of what you can do with turkey pepperoni, but you can also do a lot of different things. Like for example, if you're ever on the go, sometimes you don't have time to go home to get a snack. So sometimes you might run to like Subway or Jimmy John's. But did you know that anytime you go to like Subway or Jimmy John's that you're also getting Iowa turkey?
Really, I love both Subway and Jimmy John's.
Yeah, and so what's really cool about that is because if you shop at those 2 locations, you're actually supporting Iowa turkey farmers.
That is so cool. But did you also know that when you're eating that turkey and any other turkey or poultry in the United States, that you're actually not consuming any hormones or steroids because it's banned in the United States to use them?
I didn't know that because I see that a lot of times on some of the packaging. Even when I was going today to purchase materials for this nice snack, I was also seeing some of that where it's like hormone free, but it doesn't matter if it says it. It just means that it's going to be hormone free and steroid free.
Yeah, so in the United States, they actually cannot use those in poultry because, like I said, it's banned. So we know that our meat is going to be super safe and healthy for us because there's no hormones or steroids in it.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So we are actually pretty hungry and we're gonna go ahead and get started on our pizzas. So I'm gonna send it back to Alex.
Thanks so much, Cathryn and Kelsey. Those pizzas look really, really good. I'm kind of jealous that I don't get to eat any of them. And so like Cathryn said, we're going to share one more recipe from our final winner of the GobbleUp contest. And so this recipe comes from our high school division winners. And so our high school students actually grouped up together as a whole class to make their project. And so this is from Miss Kennard's class in Knoxville High School. And this is their Foods 2 class. And so they were actually able to make this recipe while they were in class, which is super cool and super exciting. And so they chose to make what they call the Gobbler turkey sliders. And so these are a super simple recipe that are kind of similar to our pepperoni pizzas that we've made today because they use another pre-cooked turkey product. This recipe uses deli turkey. And so like Cathryn and Kelsey have told us, it's already pre-cooked when we get it, so we could just eat it cold, but sometimes it's nicer to have those nice warm meals if we want to have it for maybe lunch or for dinner. And so with this recipe, they use Hawaiian rolls, that deli turkey, as well as some pepper jack cheese for some extra spice, and then they top it with a nice butter mixture that has some Worcestershire sauce, some Dijon mustard, and even everything but the bagel seasoning. And so they combine all those and brush that nice yummy buttery topping on the top, and then they bake them until the cheese is melted. And so like I said, this was a super fun and creative recipe that you can make pretty quick at home because they were even able to make it during their short class period, which I know if I got to make food at school that would be super, super exciting and could probably hold me over until lunch. But I think we have one more poll question for us today. And so we've learned a lot about different turkey products and those products and how they relate to things that we can eat. But our poll question is actually going to ask us about other things that turkey can be used for, called turkey co-products. So what can we get out of turkey besides just the meat? And so this is a true or false question. True or false? Turkey skin can be used to make products like boots and belts. Is that true or is that false? Can our turkeys be used for just more than just meat? It actually is true. So sometimes we can use turkey skin and we can tan it. So that's a process to further process that turkey skin. And then we can use that product to make leather things like boots and belts and other accessories like maybe a wallet. But another interesting fact is that turkey feathers can also be used as down. So they can be used as like stuffing for pillows, which is super interesting. So our turkeys can actually be utilized for more than just meat. And so I'm going to send it back to our kitchen one last time because I think Cathryn and Kelsey might have some other products that might be pretty good for us to try.
Yeah, those pizzas, as you saw, were really easy to make and a delicious snack, but I know sometimes personally I don't have time to make a snack when I'm hungry, so it's really nice to have something that I can just grab and go and eat on the way to whatever I might be doing that day. One of my favorites is actually like these little turkey snack sticks. What would your favorite be?
You know, I'm happy that you asked it because sometimes, you know, even when I'm on my way to like go to work or anything like that, it's hard for me to get breakfast in. So what I like to do is I actually like to use like these turkey sausage patties that you can get. And you can warm those up in the microwave for about 65 seconds, 70 seconds. And then I just put that on my English muffin and eat that on my way to go. So it's a good like snack to just quick and drive. So I guess it's also just a good breakfast too.
Yeah, and it sounds delicious.
It really is. And like I said, we're talking a lot about turkey products, but as an alternative to other types of meat products as well. So you can choose either protein that's best for you. And so thank you all again for joining us as we made our delicious snack and started learning about the different processes that you can do in order to keep your food safe as you prepare your snacks throughout the day.
Thank you so much, Cathryn and Kelsey. It was great to get to watch you guys make your turkey pizza, although I was a little bit jealous because I didn't get to eat any. And so thank you again, Cathryn and Kelsey, for joining us today and making the pizza. And thank you everyone for attending today and kind of following along the process and learning how to be safe whenever we're dealing with these turkey products.